So yesterday we have already, I told you some 4 to 5 concepts which were extra, and other than that which we already covered and which was there in your ICEGA material. So some few 3-4 topics are left, and after that our bank audit will be completely wound up. Told you on Friday, but when I found these notes, I thought that it should be done. Yesterday I already told you the reason. And I think some of the things are eligible to come in your examination also, because they were very important rules we did yesterday. So let's test some of them which I told you yesterday. Jaldi batao, if I have taken an agricultural loan and that is affected by the natural calamity, what is the implication of that? As an auditor, what you will check in that? I will check that it is the discretionary power of the bank to take it as an NPA or not. But if the bank wants, it has the 3 options. What are the 3 options? Either it can reschedule the loan, or it can pay you the short-term loan to pay your what? Long-term loan, or it may what? Right? So these are the various options the bank have. Achha, tell me, what are the 2 options you have if there is an erosion in your security value? Either doubtful or loss. When doubtful? When the value of the security is less than 50% of the valuation done by the registered valuer or the inspector of the RBI. So when you will declare it as a loss? When the value of the security is less than 10% of the outstanding balance in the debtor's account, in the customer's account, then it will be treated as what? Loss. I think we did all those points practically. Okay? Abhi suno, now up to yesterday I think I told you about agricultural loan, so many NPA provisions and all those things also. Now we are actually going to understand right from the starting to ending bank audit hota kaise. We are going to understand that. Now see, if we will talk about the bank audit, it is classified into 10 steps everyone. How many steps? 10 steps. So this is the major question they may ask you, but nowadays they have stopped asking you the lengthy questions. They are more interested in asking you the more conceptual questions of 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks and 5 marks maximum, right? So don't expect that this full question will come, but from this full question they may ask you some bits and parts. Okay? Now let us start with the drawing power. Ho gaya tha na apna kal? We completed na. Now let us start with the topic called, what is the name of the topic? Conducting bank audit, steps to be followed and steps to be considered. Now what is the step number 1? Read. What is the point number 1 written? It is written that there should be an initial consideration by the which auditor? What do you mean by initial consideration? Do you remember our essay 210? Audit engagement letter. What is the name? Correctly said, it was initial audit engagement terms, or agreeing to the initial audit engagement terms. Do you remember with which context we did essay 210? Ki prevention is always better than cure. If later on I'll get, Aman, dono क्या हुआ? करेक्ट है ना सब? कुछ कर रहे थे क्या क्लास में? अच्छा चलो, इनिशियल क्योंकि मजा बहुत आता है ऐसी चीजें यहाँ पर, कहने का मतलब वंस इन अ लाइफ टाइम वाला कॉन्सेप्ट होता है ये, तो है ना? मतलब ऐसा लड़ाई देखना, I was feeling bad for that fellow, but at the same point of time little bit entertaining. चलो भाई, फीलिंग्स है, मैं क्या करूं, मजा आ रहा था देखने में, मैं क्या करूं? I was so curious कि when he will take it to that point and will zoom and I will see it in a clarified mode, तो कैसा हमारा डिशू बोल के मजेदार. मतलब better to do it on daily basis. थोड़ा अच्छा एंटरटेनमेंट हो जाएगा. चलो आ जाओ वापस आ जाओ. See, we have already understood in the auditing concept essay 210 audit engagement letter, where we understood one concept that before accepting the appointment letter, it is better to discuss the engagement terms with the management and listen to the management terms and condition. Statutory audit and bank audits are not different. We are doing the statutory audit of a bank. So concept will remain same. So what we do in a normal company audit, same concept you have to apply in what? Bank audit also. That is why, what is the first step everyone? Initial consideration. So in the initial consideration, there are total 6 steps you have to follow. How many steps everyone? 6 steps. Read the step number 1. As for, अच्छा ये final का concept है थोड़ा सा, but try to understand. Final में अपन, when we'll enter the final ना, hopefully we'll meet very soon. तो फाइनल में when we'll do one topic called professional ethics. What is the name? That is basically a Chartered Accountants Act 1949 which we have to learn. And Code of Ethics 2020 has come, so completely new Chartered Accountant Act 1949 is waiting for you with lots of amendments, right or not? In that, there are two schedules. Two schedules में 34 clauses are there. How many clauses? Like we have done the Caro में 21 clauses na. Like that 31 clauses are there. In that 31 clauses, there is one of the clause that is called clause number what? 8 of part 1 of schedule 1 of which act? CA. This is an extra thing you have to remember. What is your, tell me the clause number? इसे ना 811 याद कर लो. Are you getting the point? US में 911 में लाते ना अपन जब कोई प्रॉब्लम, तो यहाँ पे याद कर लो 811. What is 811? Clause 8, Part 1, Schedule 1 of which act? अब ये क्या बोलता है? ये क्या बोलता है कि whenever you are an incoming auditor of a bank, it's better to communicate with first whom? Outgoing auditor. An incoming auditor of the bank, the new auditor of the bank should always communicate with whom? Old auditor, the one who is outgoing auditor. You may get some necessary information from the which auditor? Outgoing. So it is just a precautionary clause. What they are saying, every auditor shall communicate with the previous auditor in writing before accepting the which assignment? Acha, why there is a need? There might be a case that the old auditor was replaced by the bank because that old auditor was trying to give a genuine negative report. But the bank did not want the which report? तो बैंक ने क्या किया? ओल्ड ऑडिटर को निकाल दिया and they brought you in. Now tell me, when the same thing can happen with that person, is there a possibility that it can happen with you? So it's better to communicate or not to communicate. So who will communicate with whom? Incoming auditor will communicate in writing with the which auditor? Outgoing. Before accepting or after accepting? Before accepting the audit. That is what the clause 811 talks about. याद रखना, clause 8 part 1 schedule 1 of which act? This is the initial consent. Why it is called initial? This all happens before accepting the appointment letter or before starting the audit. What is the point number 2? An auditor shall be, as per SA 220, required to perform procedures to ensure whether he can accept the client relationship or not. Listen to this point very carefully. SA 220 अपने को क्या teach करता है? Quality control. It teaches us what? Is your firm capable enough to provide the level of quality or the level of competence what the bank is looking for? Who has to test it first? Auditor. Is he having a good team? Is he having a good engagement team? Is he having the necessary professionals? Is he having the necessary experts to fulfill the demands of whom? Bank. That is what we are going to test as per SA what? 220. So they are saying that as a statutory auditor of the bank, before accepting the whose audit? Bank audit. First look at inside you. Are you capable enough to maintain the quality, competence, efficiency and effectiveness and good engagement team so that you can meet the requirements of whom? Bank. So that is what 220. So tell me, is it going to happen after commencing the audit or before? That's why again it is a part of which consideration? Initial consideration. So tell me the 2 points out of 6 you understood in initial. पहले तो incoming auditor should communicate with the to understand the reasons. What can be the possibility? Else guilty of what? Profession. आपको CA Act 1949 में punishment होगी if the incoming auditor does not communicate with the outgoing. Then you have to follow SA 220. What is SA 220? Quality control. Remember this as SA 220 you have to follow which control? You have to ensure that your team is capable enough to handle that audit of a bank. Who has to do that first? It means, can I say that auditor has to do the R&D on himself? Okay, whether I am capable enough to handle the audit of the bank or not. What is the next one? Bank must obtain in-depthness declaration before appointing and what? Acha, there comes the section number 141 subsection 3. Disqualifications of an auditor. Do you remember? Indebted to the company for more than 5 lakhs and indebted for the guarantees and securities for more than, well, same is the case. Acha, tell me one thing. If I have taken a loan from a bank, should I do the audit of that bank? You will be in a dominant position. You will be able to compromise your audit because you will tell to the branch manager, I will sign MOC. What is MOC? Do you remember yesterday I told you? There's one very important document called Memorandum of Change. You will tell to the manager, I will sign MOC, otherwise reduce my rate of interest by 2%. Are you trying to misuse your power or not? The bank takes that declaration of indebtedness from you before giving you the bank audit. You and I should not have any family and financial relationship. So tell me the three things the auditor should do before accepting the bank audit. पहले तो भैया previous auditor से communicate करो, अपने को check करो कि whether you are capable enough to maintain the quality control. And third one, give the declaration of indebtedness to the bank. What is the fourth thing, everyone? As per SA 210. What is SA 210? Audit engagement term. Both the auditor and bank shall have the better understanding of terms of engagement to avoid the which confusion? Future. यही हमने 210 में पढ़ा था. इसका मतलब बैंक ऑडिट में are you able to see the company audit also getting interfered? Yes. Bank audit में there are some few areas where we have to follow Banking Regulation Act. 90% of the audit of the bank audit is same as what? Company audit. You might have seen that remuneration maybe we introduced 142. Powers and duties may we introduced 143 to 146. So everywhere mostly company audit takes place. So this is the fourth thing. What is the fifth thing the auditor has to do? An auditor must establish a good engagement team of what? Qualified professionals and experts as per the nature, size and operations of the bank. Acha, tell me, you went to a rural bank which is having hardly 20 lakhs of loan exposure. That to agricultural loans of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 like that. Total loans are what? 20 lakhs. Is it a huge bank or small bank? Do you need a big engagement team? Or 2 to 3 members are enough? But if you're going to a head office of a bank which is having thousands of crores of loan exposure, do you need a 1 or 2 people or more people in the team? It means you must establish a good engagement team of qualified professionals and experts as per what, everyone? Nature, size and operations of the bank. Tell me the 5 things I have done. पहले 811 किया, फिर 220 फॉलो किया, 210 भी फॉलो किया, फिर indebtedness declaration दिया, और अभी मैं क्या कर रहा हूं? I am taking care of my which team? Engagement team. According to the nature, size and operations of the bank. And what is the sixth thing I am going to do? अच्छा ये बताओ, can an internal auditor of the company be the statutory auditor of the same company? Allowed or not allowed? Bank also does not allow. What the bank is saying? An internal auditor of the bank is what? Disqualified to be an external auditor of the same bank in the same. So tell me the 6 initial consideration. Step number 1 over. Tell me the 6 steps. भाई मैंने 811 follow किया. What is 811? I communicated with the which auditor? Previous audit. Then I followed 220. What is 220? I will maintain my quality control, efficiency and effectiveness. Then indebtedness declaration. Then 210. Both the understand each other's terms and conditions to avoid the future confusion. Then fifth में audit engagement team of good professionals and experts according to the nature, size and operations of the bank. And last में but not the least, internal auditor of the bank cannot be the statutory auditor of the same bank in the same financially. Step 1 में कोई doubt है? No doubt. अभी अपन आएंगे step 2 में. तुम्हें याद है अपन रैप का मतलब क्या था? What is rap? What do we check in rap? So do we have to check the same thing in bank also? So that is what 315. What is 315 saying? As per 315, auditor must obtain what? Good understanding of the bank, its what? Environment, its what? Internal control system and its what? देखो सर अपन प्लानिंग में क्या करते हैं? Basically what do we do in planning? Acquiring the knowledge of whose business? Client's business. So here who is my client? Bank. So I should acquire the good understanding of what? Bank, its what? Environment, it's what? Internal control system and accounting system, so as to assess and identify the ROMM of finances, so as to understand where the banks can do the frauds and errors, to design and perform my FAP. What is FAP? To bring what? ROMM to the which level? Lowest acceptable level. ये हम लोग कहां पे पढ़े अभी तक? All these things we have learned in the company audit so far. Equally applicable to what? Bank. So you can see that so far I have managed to introduce the 3 standards in the bank audit only. 220, 210, 315. हाँ के ना? तो बताओ मैंने क्या किया? In the step number 2, I used 315. What do you mean by 315? Have a good understanding of the bank, its environment, its internal control system, its accounting system. so as to identify and assess the areas of ROMM, and so that I can decide my what? FAP, to bring that ROMM to the which level? Lowest acceptable level. Because a risk, can we eliminate the risk? But at least we can reduce the risk. अपना मेन पर्पस ही वही है, reduction of the risk. तो 315, तो step 1 was what? Initial consideration following the 6 inside it, and step number 2 is what? SA 315. What is step number 3? Discussions with the which team? That I already told you earlier. What are the 4 to 5 discussions you will do with your engagement team? Errors which are likely to occur, errors which you have already identified, the methods by which the bank officials may conduct the frauds and errors, be professionally skeptical throughout the audit, be alert relating to engagement risk, significant risk and operational risk. These are the 5 discussions you should have with your which team? अच्छा, क्यों करते हैं हम लोग discussion? One articleship working in your office is permanent articles or only for 3 years? When he will leave, somebody else will come. You again have to teach that new person. And seniors always would like to spread their experience, share their knowledge with whom? Juniors. So that is what a ethical behavior, what a chartered accountant should have. So you should always make sure that your engagement team should also be aware of what you are thinking of. Because the better clarity of plan is not required in your head. It is more required in your team's head. Why? Because ultimately, who is implementing the audit? Team. You are just supervising them. So you should make them clear 100% that this is what we have to do at this point of time. Tell me the 3 standards I have already introduced here. 210, 220. Tell me the 3 steps now. Initial consideration. Initial में 6 points क्या थे? 811, 220, 210, engagement team, in-depthness declaration, internal can't be the external. 6 point. Then I did what? 315. I understood bank, its environment, its internal control, accounting, to assess the ROMM and to further decide my FAP, to bring the ROMM to the lowest acceptable. Now I did what? I did the discussions with my which team? It means up to point number 3, we are 100% clarified that the bank audit has not yet started. Execute होना नहीं sure. This is all known as planning phase. Which phase? Planning phase. Step number 4 पढ़ो. 4th standard. 300 क्या था मेरे को बताना? Planning and performing an audit. What is the name of the 300? तो अब मेरे को पूरा प्लान करना पड़ेगा. I have to strategize my resources. I have to plan means acquire the knowledge of whose business? Client's business, and put it on a piece of paper. When you put your planning and strategy on a piece of paper, it turns into what? Program. वही अपन कर रहे हैं. An auditor must determine his audit materiality on items. Sorry, above. An auditor must develop a which one? Overall audit strategy, overall audit plan, and overall audit program, which involves a participation of what? Achha, can a single person plan everything? Or you need the inputs? That's why the inputs of all the key members of the team are required. Now, what are the 4 standards we have already used here? 220, 210, 315, 300. The 2 of 200 series and 2 of what? 300 series. We have already included. Now step number 5. Now I will do what? 320. What is 320? Materiality. Achha, tell me one thing. Who is more interested in the financial statements of the bank? Users में कौन? RBI. Who is more interested? RBI. Central government. And the other lenders who have given the loan to this bank. They are also interested. Shareholders, if it's a listed bank. So here also our purpose is to look at the materiality from auditor's point of view or user's point of view. तो बता दो मेरे को materiality और pervasiveness में difference क्या होता है? What is the difference between the both the words? Materiality you always judge from whose point of view? What my user is more interested in. Pervasiveness is what? User as well as whom? Auditor. Which one is a more broader concept? Pervasive. So something which is material may or may not be pervasive, but something which is pervasive must be what? So now 320 is all about what? Materiality. It means now in this step I have to look for my whose interest? User's interest. An auditor must determine the audit materiality on items, transactions of the financial statement by considering what is material and immaterial from whose point of view? User's point. It's a matter of which judgment? अच्छा ये बताओ, if you are a customer of a bank what you would like to be interested in the financials of the bank? Would you like to open a FD account in a bank which is very having poor financials or which is having strong financials? अगर मैं तुम्हें एक small option if I'll give you, there is one AP Mahesh Cooperative Bank and there is one ICICI Bank. AP Mahesh Cooperative Bank is giving you 10% FD rate and ICICI Bank is only offering you 7.5, where you would like to open an FD. How many of you agree with the ICICI? You have to. The reason being very simple. Who is the most strongest among these two? ICICI. Did you get the point? So it's not always about the income what you are looking for. Sometimes you look about what? Safety. Did you get the point? Your money will be more safer in case of ICICI. तो वो चीजें अपन करते हैं. That is what SA 320 is all about. Judging the bank from whose point of view? User's point of view. कि what they are looking for in the bank. अच्छा, tell me, RBI would like to have a bank with more branches which is having more NPA percentage or less NPA percentage? Less NPA. NPA stands for non-performing. If a bank is having more NPAs, it means that bank is able to handle its loan or unable to. So RBI will be more strict on that bank which is having more NPA ratio and less strict on those banks which are having what? इंडिया में सबसे लीस्ट HDFC बैंक की है 0.25%. कितना? मतलब अगर वो 100 करोड़ का लोन देता है उसमें से सिर्फ और सिर्फ 25 lakhs का लोन वो होता है, क्या बोलते हैं, नॉन रिकवरेबल. इट मींस 99 crores 75 lakhs they will be able to what? Recover. 0.25%. Least amount of NPA is from HDFC. That's why recently HDFC has crossed SBI in the market capital. Now India's biggest bank is no longer SBI. Who is the biggest bank of India? HDFC. Recently crossed, I think 6-7 months back, into the market capitalization. The best bank in India right now is HDFC in terms of market capitalization and NPA ratio. Now this is called SA 320. तो मेरे को ये बताओ, स्टेप नंबर 1 में हो गया इनिशियल कंसिडरेशन, 2 में 315, इन द 3 discussions with the which team? Engagement team. 4 में 300, 5 में 320. Step number 6 पढ़ो. 240 and 200. Auditor shall always be alert and skeptical. What is skeptical? Professional skeptical. Throughout the audit to recognize the possibility of what? Misstatements of the fraud. तो मतलब ये पॉइंट क्या बोलता है कि throughout the audit you have to be skeptical. What do you mean by skeptical? Questioning mind or suspicious mind? Not suspicious. You will turn it into suspicious when you will come across any fraud and error. To have a question mind, but not a suspicious mind. Then we will follow SA 570. Achha, tell me one thing. Are you also worried about the going concern of the bank or not? We are more actually worried in the bank's going concern. Since the Yes Bank incident has happened in 2019. All of you know now, I think I shared with you the Yes Bank. Now all the banks came up and helped the Yes Bank. What was the reason behind that? Why all the competitors also came and helped the Yes Bank in paying off its liabilities? Because public trust and confidence is the prime important thing on which the banking system is standing today. If that foundation will be disturbed, the whole banking system will go into the null and void concept. Are you getting the point? And if we lose even a 1% interest in the banking system, our economy ka 40% of our economy is dependent upon which system in India? Banking system. So we can't afford to have a loose banking system in India. That's the reason you always should be concerned about banks which concern going on. Auditor must observe and consider indicators indicating the inappropriateness of which is assumption? Going concern of a bank, which may cast a doubt on whose concern? Going. अच्छा ये बताओ, customers have stopped opening accounts in your bank, rather they have started closing their existing accounts in your bank. It means, are you their favorite bank now or non-favorite? It means your going concern is in what? Danger. So this is what the auditor has to observe in 570. Fifth, step number 8 is known as which testing? अच्छा, how many of you have heard about mock drills? कभी सुना mock drill? Mock drill क्या होता है? ओ मॉकटेल, वही चलता रहता है दिमाग में तुम्हारे. मॉकटेल, कॉकटेल, मैंने मॉकटेल बोला क्या? मॉक ड्रिल बोला। बेटा सुधर जाओ, मैं बता रहा हूं, नहीं तो हाथ में बोतलें ही ले जाएंगी डिग्री की जगह। और फिर बोले शीशे से शीशा टकराए बोलते रहना। समझ में आ रहा? थोड़ा ऊपर उठो, संडे को कर लिया करो जो करना होता है, सैटरडे तक तो क्लास करो। अच्छा ये बताओ मॉक ड्रिल का मतलब क्या होता है? बताओ जल्दी बताओ। देखो कंपनीज में क्या होता है, दे गिव द ट्रेनिंग टू देयर एम्प्लॉइज कि whenever any fire will take place or any natural calamity will come, you should know the evacuation plan of the building. So alarm systems, you might have seen that ki there will be, when we go to any shopping mall or something, there will be a stair system as well as the lift system. तो emergency exit करके arrows दिए रहते हैं. What is the reason they give you? कि in case of fire and all, ये अपने actually this has become a very big concept, stress testing, after the World Trade Center concept happened in 2000, before your birth actually. You know ना World Trade Center का concept? Seriously you don't know? पूरे वर्ल्ड की सबसे बड़ी ट्रेजेडी थी वो। वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेंटर वाज बेस्ड इन न्यूयॉर्क, where the terrorist attack has happened by bunging the airplanes into the buildings. मतलब उड़ता हुआ एयरप्लेन with 400 passengers, they introduced it in the building. Accident, 180 floors building, 2 buildings like that. World Trade Center means पूरे वर्ल्ड का मेन ट्रेडिंग सेंटर वाज दैट, एंड दैट हैज हैपेंड व्हाई? बिकॉज ऑफ क्या बोलते हैं, ओसामा बिन लादेन. Have you heard of this name? That's the reason US went to Abbottabad to do the surgical strike. Actually, the concept of surgical strike has come from the killing of Osama bin Laden. So US Army was in Pakistan for the last 11 to 12 years and Pakistan was not aware of that. In Pakistan, they surged Osama bin Laden and killed and went back also. Then also Pakistan was not aware. Osama bin Laden was the biggest terrorist of the world, the most wanted terrorist. So US almost after 13 years was able to catch it. क्योंकि 2000 में वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेंटर 9/11 बोलते हैं ना जिसको 9/11, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड 9/11 मींस सितंबर 11 सितंबर को हुआ था, 11 सितंबर 2000 में. तो 2 airplanes within a span of half an hour 45 minutes they burst into the buildings of 180 floors and वहां पे मतलब the people who were above the floors, they तो already died on the spot क्योंकि the floors went down. Still those buildings were standing still for 3.5 hours before getting collapsed. And during those 3.5 hours, both the buildings put together, there were 13,000 employees in those buildings. And almost 10,000 were able to evacuate. But how you will get down by 180 floors? Via stairs. Stairs ही नहीं खत्म हो रहे थे. And some people got the heart attack while coming down only. Why? Because the smoke and all due to that burning of the buildings and all. So that mock drill concept actually has come from that incident. Ki whenever any such kind of incident takes place, like the fire has happened or something has come, natural calamity has come, you should know the evacuation plan. Evacuation plan means तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए कि when the fire takes place, you should not take the lift. It's better to take what? Stairs. Are you getting the point? हर एक बिल्डिंग में होता है. किसी भी शॉपिंग मॉल में चले जाओ, किसी भी कॉलेज इंस्टीट्यूट में चले जाओ. Actually, if the MCA will do, एक सेकेंड, right? नहीं, jokes apart, did you understand what I'm trying to tell? So stress testing is one of the tests which you have to do it on the bank employees. That is what has happened during demonetization. अब demonetization के टाइम पे क्या हुआ था कि people who were having the crores and crores of balance also in their account, they were only allowed to withdraw 4,000 at that point of time. And the queues were, barging from the door to the 1 kilometers ke queues the. At that point of time, number of employees was same. And those employees are, imagine that ki you are the employee of the bank and outside your bank branch, there are 1 lakh people are standing who are very furious, angry that you are making them wait to withdraw their own money. How you will feel from inside? That is called stress testing. Which testing? Stress testing. ये चीजें बैंक एम्प्लॉइज के ऊपर होना जरूरी है कि when suppose suddenly say for example if tomorrow the rumor will come कि HDFC Bank is a biggest like a bank involved in the world's biggest scam in the banking sector, tomorrow what will happen? All the people who have a bank account in that HDFC Bank will be after the bank or not? ATMs को तोड़ेंगे, फोड़ेंगे, public property will be damaged. That is called stress testing. At that point of time, how those it is not the fault of employees. But as a mob, when you turn yourself from individual to a mob, you do not think it in a straight way. So at that point of time, they should know that how to handle that situation. उसे बोलते हैं stress testing. Auditor checks that whether stress testing on the banks takes place at regular interval, so that whenever that kind of situation will demand, they should be able to handle that situation. उसे बोलते हैं eighth step. What is the eighth step, everyone? As per RBI norms, every bank shall put in place stress testing framework to have a better risk management systems. In companies we call it as mock drills, but banks में अपन उसे stress testing framework बोलते हैं. ठीक है? Next one, what is Basel III framework? RBI has created one particular framework which every bank has to follow. Are you getting the point? This is too technical that it is not even there in your CA final. You just have to remember Basel III framework. What is the name of the framework? So last का 8th and 9th point is relating to frameworks. 8th point is relating to stress testing framework, and step number 9 is talking about what? Basel III framework. Are you getting the point? And what is the step number 10, everyone? Reliance or review of which reports? Others report. अच्छा ये बताओ, when we do the company audit, whether the internal auditor's report is useful for me or useless for me? Useful. Same is the case with the bank audit. When you do the statutory audit of the bank, on the bank already one concurrent audit has taken place, RBI inspection audit has taken place, internal audit has taken place, committee audit has taken place, like that 16 to 17 different types of audit takes place. As a statutory auditor, would you like to review those reports? Will it give you any proper input or no input? Proper input will come. That is what do you mean by what? Last step. What is the last step? Reliance or review of the whose reports? Other. An auditor shall take into consideration whose report? Read past year audit reports, inspection, interval inspection reports, concurrent audit reports, other internal audit reports, and RBI inspection report to check if any adverse comments are passed. Say for example, I was checking the internal auditor का report. उसमें लिखा हुआ था their cashier did not demand the PAN card number while accepting the cash for more than 50,000. अब तुम मुझे बताओ, is it a sign of compliance or non-compliance? It means the cashier whom this bank has hired is not aware of the fact that whenever any customer comes and deposits more than what? 50,000 of cash, accepting the cash with PAN number is optional or mandatory? Mandatory. But he was not accepting it. Now tell me, did I get the weaker area of the bank or not? I will immediately go to the management and ask them, did you do any initiative? Did you take any initiative to correct this particular kind of error and fraud which is happening in your organization? If I will get any affirmative answer, I will not sign the MOC. But if I will get a non-affirmative answer, I will think of signing what? MOC. What is MOC? Memorandum of Change. This is how you do the audit of what? Banks, right from the starting from the point number 1 to point number 10. अब मेरे को बताओ क्या क्या समझा हमने all the points में. Step number 1 क्या था अपना? Initial consideration. उसमें 6 steps क्या थे? 811. ठीक है? We will communicate with the previous auditor. Last time revise करें क्योंकि बहुत important. From each step they may ask you. Point number 2, I checked my quality control. Point number 3, I will give the declaration of indebtedness. Point number 4 to 10, we will both understand each other terms and conditions to avoid the future confusion. Point number 5, I will make my audit engagement team according to the nature, size and operation of the bank. And point number 6, internal auditor can't be the statute. फिर मैंने step 2 किया. Step number 2 में क्या? 315, I understood bank, environment, internal and accounting system to have the ROMUM knowledge and to decide my FAP to bring the ROMUM to the lowest acceptable level. फिर मैंने 300 discussion with which team? Engagement team. What errors may happen, which I have already identified. Be skeptical, be alert, and what methods the bank officials may adopt to do the frauds and error. These are the discussions you will do. Then step number 4 में I did what? 300. What is 300? Planning. Planning का मतलब क्या? I'll make a overall audit strategy, plan and program to conduct my audit in a effective and efficient, and most importantly to complete it on which basis? Timely basis. Then I will do 320. 320 में मैंने क्या किया? Audit materiality. I will start considering or making the materiality levels from the whose point of view? User's point. First step number 6 में what I did? ऐसे 240 and 200. I will tell my staff to be professionally skeptical throughout the audit. Have a questioning mind, but not a suspicious mind. Step number 7 में I started thinking about the banks. GC. What is GC? Going banks. I will look out for those indicators which will bring me an answer that yes, Rohit, this is a poor indicator of the going concern of the bank. Step number 8 में मैंने stress testing framework check किया. Step number 9 में मैंने Basel 3 framework check किया. And step number 10 में I reviewed and took the reliance on some other reports. What are those reports? It can be past year audit reports, interval inspection reports, concurrent audit reports, other internal audit reports, or RBI inspection reports to identify any adverse comments have been passed or not. This is how we do the audit of the bank right from the step 1 to. तो audit of incomes हमने already कल कर लिया था. What are the two major incomes of the bank? Interest earned and other income. What comes under the other income? Debit card fees, mobile banking fees, credit card fees. So all those things we have already done. And I already told you which incomes deserve the special attention. 1% of the total income of the bank or 1% of the profit before tax. Net profit before the tax of the bank deserves a special thing. Right or not? And NPS ka income criteria is what, everyone? What is the income criteria for NPAs? Is it on accrual basis or recovery basis? Lekin this is what the point you have to do extra. NPAs are always considered on the base of what? Recovery. To be recognized only on which basis? Actual realization basis. But what is it given below exception? Do you remember IVP, KVPs? Yesterday I told you. Indra Vikas Patra, Kisan Vikas Patra, term deposit and national savings certificate. If you have taken the loans against them, they are highly safest loans, and there is no requirement of declaring them as what? NPA. In such case of NPS, Nashi, what is the exception? They shall be recognized on which basis? Accrual basis, subject to the condition that adequate margin is available to the bank. Next one, reversal of income and memorandum accounts. Acha ye batao, if there is one bank and while doing the audit of the bank, you came to know that there were 2% NPAs of the bank and they recognize their income on accrual basis. What course of action you will take as an auditor on the bank? Will you allow them to accept the income on accrual basis, or you will tell them to reverse it? Because it should be recognized on which basis? Accrual or realization? Now see, if already recognized, read the point everyone. If already recognized on accrual, later that advance becomes what? NPA. Reverse the already recognized income by debiting what? PNL. Or start providing for the same. या तो reverse करो या उसके against क्या create करो? Provision. Then partial recoveries in NPA. This is also one of the topic they may ask you in the examination. What do you mean by partial recovery? Full or some of it? If there is no clear agreement between the bank and the borrower, partial recovery shall be apportioned in uniform and consistent manner. What do you mean by that? Suppose 50 crores of loan was defaulted. He is ready to pay me 20 crores now. What should I do? There was no agreement between me as a bank and my client as a borrower. What should I do? I'll accept. I will not say no. I'm saying how you will treat it in your books of accounts as a bank. Out of 50 crores of loan, he is ready to pay me 20 crores. Should I waive off remaining 30 or should I record it as a partial recovery? Still pending how much? 30 crores. Some banks क्या करते हैं कि one time recovery happen, they will close the account. That is not allowed. You will only close the account if the borrower and you had an agreement कि I will give this much, after that it is closed. Then you have a right to close the account. Otherwise the account will still be opened as an what? NPA. You will only record the which recovery? Partial recovery. If there is no agreement. What is the second point? In case there is a certainty attached to the recovery of some already declared NPA, then AS 9 shall be followed. Accrual basis and reversal amount shall be what? Accounted again. What do you mean by that? There is one client who already defaulted. He called me, sir, my business is reviving again. What do you mean by reviving again? There is a possibility, there is a ray of hope that I will be able to repay your complete loan, but not now, but at a later stage of time. Are you getting the point? अब तुमने ऑलरेडी उसे क्या कर दिया था, यू ऑलरेडी डिक्लेयर्ड इट एज एन एनपी, पहले तो उसे रिवर्स करेंगे, एंड वट एवर द इंटरेस्ट यू वर थिंकिंग ऑफ डूइंग इट ऑन realization basis, you have to start doing it on what? Accrual basis again. It means you have to start following AS9. What is AS9? Revenue recognition. Because he has given you the ray of hope कि yes, my business is reviving again and I will be in a position to repay your total loan. Clear है? And what is the third one? Interest fully or partially paid for the NPAs from the loan sanctioned by the bank to the borrower, not to be credited towards the NPA interest. What do you mean by that? अच्छा, एनपीए का मतलब है कि यू हैव एनी होप्स और नो होप्स? नो होप्स. इफ ही हैज पेड सम अमाउंट, आर यू गोइंग टू क्रेडिट इट टुवर्ड्स द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ प्रिंसिपल फर्स्ट? नाउ let me get this very straight. Tell me one thing. When a generally bank gives the loan to a normal person, what does he recover first? And then, but if it's a staff loan, we are 100% sure about that. But there is one normal loan whom you have already declared as an NP. Now what you would like to recover more? Principal. Interest गया भाड़ में, मेरे को पहले मेरा principal चाहिए. अब NP person came and he said that sir, out of 50 crores, 5 crore is available, please take it. अब तुम first you will adjust towards the outstanding interest or directly towards the principal. That's what they are saying. This is the rule number 3. What is the next rule? With respect to what? Bill purchase. क्या लिखा हुआ है? Here the bill discounting income shall be, that I already told you. If there is a bill discounting income falling in 2 years, are you going to recognize the full income in 1 year or apportion it? And in case it is bill collected, here the commission of the branch. Achha, tell me, in case you have collected the bill for collection, when you will credit the customer's account? When the payment is actually made by whom? Troy. But in case of bill purchased, you will immediately credit it, but you will show it as a what? Contingent liability. Which liability? Because you have to wait till the maturity. What if the drawee will pay or may not pay? So till that time it will be a which liability? Contingent liability. And last but not the least, with respect to what? Reschedule. अच्छा बताओ, have you ever heard of the word called reconstruction? कहाँ पे पढ़ा है? Accounts में क्या होता है internal reconstruction? When the company is sound or unsound? Unsound. It will request its creditors, lenders, preference shareholders to reduce the rate of interest or to waive off some of their part. That is called internal. See, it is always better to do the restructuring of the company rather than winding up a company. Do you all agree? So that is what the bank does. Same bank भी क्या बोलता है borrower को? देखो sir, borrower and banker meeting is going on. Borrower is saying, I can't pay you. Banker is saying, I will not leave you. So borrower is saying, what is the solution? Banker is saying, okay, you can't pay me in 2 years. I will extend your loan to 15 years. Instead of paying me the EMI of 1 lakh per month, pay me 15,000 rupees per month and take 10 years to repay instead of 2 years. Are you getting it? मैंने क्या किया? एक तो EMI का amount क्या कर दिया? Reduce, and tenure what? Increase. Both are comfortable. Is this called a negotiation? That's what they are saying. That is called what? Reschedulement of the loans. What do we call it as? Now, what you will do, obviously, you are giving a huge benefit to whom? That person called what? Borrower, who was not ready to pay, but now he is what? Ready to pay. It's a win-win situation. But tell me one thing, did you lose your income or not? Yes. And at the same point of time, are you compromising of 2 years repayment into what now? For the next 10 years, you have to think about this borrower. That's the reason on that bank charges some commission. That is called reschedulement commission. Which commission? Now see, commission or fees earned shall be recognized on which basis? Accrual basis over a period of time of what? Reschedule. Suppose I charged 1 crore from that borrower. How many crores? He was of hundreds of crores wala loan wala case. So 1 crore commission I charged. तो वो बोल रहे हैं कि don't treat it as an income in 1 year. Treat this 1 crore as an income in the tenure of the reschedulement. Suppose I gave him 10 years extended and I charged 1 crore. In 1 year I will recognize how much? 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 10 lakhs. So you are not allowed to recognize the whole income of 1 crore in 1 year. You have to spread it over the number of years. Are you understanding these rules now? Why I am focusing on these rules? Each and every rule is having a probability of coming in your examination in the form of MCQ. They may ask you like this, okay, this has happened, what is your answer? Whether he should, if I'll ask you, reschedulement commission, how to be treated? Point number 1, to be treated in the same year, not to be treated, over the tenure, none of above. अब अपन क्लास में बैठ के ये क्वेश्चन वी कैन मेक, then don't you think that the ICA can make the same question? So it's better to do it in this way. So these are the extra rules you should have known about what? NPA. Now what is this? ये हमने कर लिया था आई थिंक. इंटरेस्ट एक्सपेंडिचर भी हो गया था, ऑपरेटिंग भी हो गया था, एंड प्रोविजंस एंड कंटिंजेंसी. नाउ द नेक्स्ट, आई होप दिस इज द लास्ट. अरे खत्म हो जाए यार, तू भी नहीं हो रहा खत्म. संडे भी लेगा क्या? देखा 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 देखा. आई नो वे टू पिंच यू पीपल. ओके, ऑडिट रिपोर्ट. हाँ, संडे नहीं रहते क्लास? Who is taking the class tomorrow? Complete holiday. Till now it is holiday. हाँ? Till now it is holiday ना? Okay. चलो. अच्छा बस है, मैं कान लेता हूँ यार, मेरी भी बीवी बच्चे हैं, मेरे को भी ध्यान रखना पड़ता है. हमारा भी एक दिन ही मिलता है हमें. हाँ हाँ. Thank you always in monetary terms. I will share my Google Pay number. Don't worry. थैंक यू करना है गूगल पे करो. आजकल हम लोग थैंक यू भी यूपीआई पे लेते हैं. नीचे कमेंट में डाल दे थैंक यू फॉर नॉट टेकिंग इट ऑन संडे. चलो आ जाओ यार, थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा वर्क है. 2-3 टॉपिक्स आते हैं, दैट इज फॉर योर बेनिफिट. अच्छा ये बताओ, द हरी इज नॉट ऑन मी टू कंप्लीट द पोर्शन. आई वांट टू कंप्लीट द पोर्शन इन अ फुल फ्लेज मैनर फॉर यू पीपल ओनली. डिड यू गेट द पॉइंट? I will not get benefited out of it. I'm already a chartered accountant. You know now. So you have to become the one, bhaiya. You have to invest the time. I will take as much as long timer also for completing this portion. That will not affect my earning or my capabilities or my efficiency and effectiveness. It will affect yours only. So do you want to complete it as soon as possible? Obviously, except this Sunday. Next Sunday अपन लेंगे class. Next Sunday 10th आएगी ना? Next Sunday it will be 10th ना? तो मे बी 12th और 13th तक वी विल बी इन अ पोजीशन टू वाइंड अप अवर पोर्शन, क्योंकि अभी अपने चिल्लर 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 चिल्लर. हाँ, ये तो वही बात होगी. नहीं नहीं, ये तो वही बात होगी, डेथ से पहले रेस्ट इन पीस, है ना? अ पर्सन इज अबाउट टू डाई, रेस्ट इन पीस सर, है ना? अरे पहले जाने तो दो, इसी बात में करना. चलो आ जाओ भाई. ऑडिट रिपोर्ट. व्हाट आर द 2 टाइप्स ऑफ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट एवरीवन? बाय द ऑडिटर्स ऑफ द बैंक एंड बाय व्हाट? सेंट्रल स्टैट्यूटरी. नाउ देयर इज वन कॉन्सेप्ट व्हिच आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू. एक्चुअली दिस कॉन्सेप्ट यू शुड नो नाउ ओनली सो दैट यू विल बी कंफर्टेबल इन सीए फाइनल. ध्यान से सुनना. when I talk about the statutory audit, I am talking about a statutory audit of a branch. Every bank has 2 types of auditors. एक होता है statutory audits of the bank branch, and above them there is called CSA, central statutory auditors. Which auditor? Like say for example, HDFC has 16,000 branches in India. So HDFC's 16,000 statutory audits will take place for each and every branch. When we do the audit, we will make 2 audit reports. How many? Out of this, 1 will be given to the branch and 1 will be sent to the CSAs. They are known as Central Statutory Auditor. What the CSA will do? 16 branches का audit report को he will consolidate. अरे अपने काग साफ वही तो करते हैं. Comptroller and Auditor General of India does the audit or consolidates. So that is the same role CSA is playing. Central State. So he is the auditor of HDFC. We are the auditor of HDFC's branch. So we are the branch auditors and he is a main statutory. What he will do? 16,000 financial statements he will get. 16,000 audit reports he will get. He will prepare 1 audit report and 1 financial statement of total HDFC. So there are 2 types of audit report. On the left side, right? Read what is this? जो हम लोग issue करते हैं, right or not? we give it to whom? CSA. What is CSA? Central Statutory Auditor, और SCA भी बोल सकते हैं, Statutory Central Auditor. Now there is one another audit report by whom? Central Statutory Auditors of the bank. Now in case of SBI and in case of nationalized bank, we always report to whom? Central bank. Contents क्या होंगे ये तुम्हें ऑलरेडी मालूम है. What are the 5 contents I told you about the audit report? Balance sheet, P&L, 1 point is on power, 1 point is on branch reports, and 1 point is on serious irregularities. Tell me the 5 words. अरे देखो ना साहब, balance sheet and P&L, giving the which view? Both the points are covered. एक क्या था? Information actually received or not. Next क्या था? Transaction by the bank within its what? Powers. और next क्या था? Serious, branch का adequate or not. और एक और point यहाँ पे लिख लो, serious irregularities. One extra point is what? Serious what? Irregularities. If you find any serious irregularities, that also will be there in the part of your bank report. Next one. Format of bank audit report compliance with essays. What is essays, everyone? इसका मतलब same essay 700 is applicable to the bank audit report also. It means our bank audit report will be like this. Tell me how the bank audit report will start with title, addressee, opinion, basis, GC, CAM, EMP, OMP, MRP, ARP, OLRR. उसके बाद date, place, signature. It means same in compliance with essays means what? Whatever we give it to the company audit report, same audit report is applicable on what? Bank. Either it's statutory auditor or central statutory auditor. Both have to do the compliance with the same. And in case of which branches, everyone? What do you mean by unaudited branches? जिनका audit ही नहीं हुआ. So remember, in case of unaudited branches, at least we have to report the 4 items. What are the 4 items? Deposit, advances, interest income, interest expense. Extra things are not required. Tell me what are the major what is the major asset of the bank? Asset of the bank, advance. Liability of the bank, deposit. Major income of the bank, interest income. Major expenditure. These 4 informations at least are required in case of which audit? Unaudited branches of a bank. Did you get the point? And next one, matters relating to section number, याद है पूरा 143. What is 143:12? अब मैं जो पूछूंगा तो मेरे को गलत आंसर दोगे, मेरे को पता है. What is 143:11? तो कारो भी रिपोर्ट करेंगे ना. ओए कारो तो एप्लीकेबल ही नहीं होता बैंक को. आ रहा है कुछ याद? तो जो मैं बोलूंगा वही लिख दोगे एग्जाम में. You will not interfere, you will not interrupt when I am saying something wrong. कारो 2020 की एप्लीकेबिलिटी बताना मेरे को अभी ऑन द स्पॉट. It is applicable to all the companies, including foreign companies. Does not apply to Section 8, OPC, small banking companies. बैंक के ऊपर कारो नहीं एप्लीकेबल. अगर ये MCQ आ जाता तो all of you would have given the wrong answer. तो ऑडिट ऑफ बैंक्स में याद कर लो, he will trouble you, who? Examiner, by asking you कि कारो 2020 is applicable or not. तो टोटल सेक्शन नंबर 143 as it is applicable except what? कारो. कारो does not apply to which company? Banking company. लेकिन अगर ये NBFC होता तो it is applicable. But NBFC later on converted into bank, not applicable. तो याद रखना, banks need not get reported under कारो. Next one, LFAR तो पता ही अपने को आता है. ऑनर बिफोर विच जून? 30 जून. प्रिस्क्राइब्ड बाय होम? आरबीआई. अप्लाइज टू ऑल द बैंक. आरबीआई सर्कुलर भी याद है? अरे वो वाला प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटेंट. एज अ प्रोफेशनल अकाउंटेंट, इफ यू फाइंड एनी एक्सेस यूज ऑफ वर्ड पावर, स्मेल एनी फाउल प्ले, or there is any susceptible transaction relating to fraud or fraudulent activity, it is your duty to report it immediately to the regulator, and deliberate omission of the same will be liable to a penalty. And section number 143 subsection 12, duty to report fraud. ये हमने already कर लिया था, सिर्फ revision करवा रहा हूं. What you have not done is right side. What is the right side? तुम्हें याद है मैं कल एक बोल रहा था कि देयर आर डे बिफोर व्हेन वी स्टार्टेड दिस चैप्टर आई टोल्ड यू कि ओनली देयर आर 7 डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ऑडिट रिपोर्ट्स व्हिच आर एप्लीकेबल टू द बैंक. डू यू रिमेंबर दैट? फर्स्ट में हमने क्या किया था? एलएफएआर, एसएलआर, different types of treasury operations. Now this person called central statutory auditor of the bank, what is the point written? Additional reportings by SEM. Matlab what we have done on the left side, that is as it is applicable to whom? Central statutory auditors. What we have done on the left side, it is as it is applicable to whom? What additionally they report, that only I have written on the right side in the red color में. देखो, what is the point number 1? Report on operational effectiveness and adequacy of internal control system over financial reporting, but applies only if a bank is a registered. याद है शुरू वाला केस? What questions, where questions, how questions, internal control systems वाले question. That report they are talking about. So it means that audit is only and only applicable to those banks which are what? Registered company. This is the additional reporting done by the CSAs. What is CSAs? Central Statutory. Point number 1. Second, LFAR. That is applicable to them also. Next one. ये हमने already कर लिया था. Next one. Whether RBI instructions were followed on. ये भी हमने कर लिया था. Next one. Whether any notice which require which action immediate. और ये याद है NPA में 3 चीजें. Asset classification, income recognition, provision of assets. And what is the next one? ये वाली report I did not tell you that. Do you remember I used this word? एक जिलानी report होती है बोल के. उसे बोलते हैं घोष कमेटी recommendations. जिलानी कमेटी रहे. ये घोष and जिलानी याद कर लो. What is the word? घोष नहीं. मुंह में पानी आ रहा है घोष बोले तो. घोष and जिलानी. अब घोष भाई साहब क्या बोलते हैं? इन्होंने कमेटी बनाई थी ऑन द फ्रॉड्स एंड व्हाट माल प्रैक्टिसेस व्हिच मे अकर इन द बैंक्स, और मिस्टर जिलानी ने कमेटी बनाई थी ऑन व्हाट सिस्टम? इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम एंड इंस्पेक्शन ऑफ क्रेडिट सिस्टम. तो दिस इज द एक्स्ट्रा रिपोर्ट यू हैव टू लर्न along with those 7. What are those 7? You already know. SLR, treasury operation. Extra 8th one is what? Ghosh and Jilani. तो घोष साहब ने किसके ऊपर रिकमेंडेशन दिए? फ्रॉड्स एंड एरर्स, फ्रॉड्स एंड माल प्रैक्टिसेस. एंड जिलानी साहब क्या बोल रहे हैं? इंटरनल कंट्रोल सिस्टम एंड इंस्पेक्शन ऑफ क्रेडिट सिस्टम. मतलब सिविल स्कोर का कॉन्सेप्ट मिस्टर जिलानी की देने. इन्होंने कॉन्सेप्ट लाया था कि व्हेनेवर वी थिंक अबाउट गिविंग एनी लोन टू सम बोरोवर, प्लीज थिंक ऑफ हिज क्रेडिट वर्थिनेस फर्स्ट. एंड नेक्स्ट वन, this is the extra. What is this report? On what? Adverse credit deposit ratio in the. What do you mean by adverse credit deposit ratio? What does that mean? Adverse का मतलब क्या हो? पहले समझो. Negative. Negative क्या? Credit deposit. इसका मतलब रूरल बैंक्स जो होते हैं, they give more loans but there are very less deposits. Actually it should be बताओ मेरे को. It should be more deposits for the bank, then it is beneficial. What is beneficial from the bank's point of view? So if the loans are more, deposits are less, it is good for the bank. Why? तो adverse का मतलब क्या हुआ? Opposite. तुम्हारे बैंक में डिपॉजिट ज्यादा है भैया और लोन क्या है? कम है. तो हाउ मच इज योर इंटरेस्ट इनकम? लेस. हाउ मच योर इंटरेस्ट एक्सपेंड? मोर. तो दिस बैंक इज अ प्रॉफिट मेकिंग और लॉस मेकिंग? लॉस मेकिंग बैंक. आगे ना. सो 2 रिपोर्ट्स एक्स्ट्रा. तो 7 + 2 9. टोटल कितने हो गए अभी? 9. तो बताओ मेरे को 2 एक्स्ट्रा. घोष, जिलानी. एंड एडवर्स डिपॉजिट क्रेडिट रेशियो इन द स्पेशली इन विच एरिया? अर्बन एरियाज में ओके रहते बैंक. व्हाई? बिकॉज अर्बन एरियाज में सेम इज द लोन टेकर्स एंड सेम इज द डिपॉजिट गिवर्स. बट रूरल एरिया में क्या होते हैं? पीपल डू नॉट टेक लोन दैट मच. दे गिव रादर गिव व्हाट मोर डिपॉजिट. क्योंकि रूरल में दे डू नॉट टेक द लोन बिकॉज दे हैव अ फियर ऑफ नॉट एबल टू रीपे. क्योंकि देयर कंप्लीट रीपेमेंट इज डिपेंडेंट अपॉन द वेदर, एंड द वेदर इज समथिंग विच इज predictable or unpredictable. The deposits will be more loans will be less, so that will become the adverse situation for the banks. Clear everyone? Yes. So this is your CA final ka part. You need not do. And yes, last topic. What is the last topic, everyone? Income. What do you mean by reversal of income rules? ये हमने ऑलरेडी पढ़ लिया क्या? पढ़ना एक बार क्या हुआ? In case of bill purchase or discounting or advances which become NPA at the end of the year, total interest accrued and credited in the present period and in the past period shall be what? Reversed and provided. ये तो करा हुआ है ना? Applies also to the government guarantee. हाँ, ये पॉइंट याद है? Which guarantees are allowed? Which are not allowed? But for the income recognition, both are treated as NPA. In case of NPAs, fees, commission and similar income which have already what? Accrued shall be reversed for the which period? Current period. Should be provided for the which period? Past period. If what? Correct. They are simply saying two rules. Current year का reverse कर दो, past years का provide कर दो. Remember this rule. Current year का NPA income which you have already added, do what? Reversal. And past year का period का income which you have already added, do what? Provision. So where to provide, where to reverse? Tell me. Current period income को reverse, past period incomes को provide. And in case of wrongly recognized incomes, reverse the interest for the current year. Again, provide for the equal amount for the which year? Same rule. Reversal for the current, provision for the past. Auditor should inquire if any there are large debits within the interest income which are what? Unexplained. Any inquiries from the borrowers about interest difference if any and action taken by the banks on it. ये वाला point पढ़ना एक बार. Inquire if there is any large debits in the interest income which are what? Unexplained. What do you mean by large debits in the interest income which are unexplained? इंटरेस्ट इनकम क्या होती है? देखिए मेरे को भी कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है थोड़ा, एक सेकेंड. इंक्वायर इफ एनी लार्ज डेबिट्स इन द व्हाट? इंटरेस्ट इनकम विच आर व्हाट? अनएक्सप्लेन्ड. लार्ज डेबिट्स. Yes, you are waiving off the interest. Interest income is the debit side or credit side income of the bank, but you are doing the debits on that. It means what? You are waiving the income. Waiving का मतलब क्या? Waive off का मतलब क्या होता है? Forgetting it. You are मतलब telling them कि not to pay, and that is explained or unexplained? Unexplained. That's the reason it is eye-catching point. Now see, inquire if any large debt. It means there was one borrower from whom I was expecting 5 crores of income, but when I see his account, 3 crores have been debited. What does that mean? Either received, either there are two possibilities. Either what? Received, or you have waived off. And which is left what? Explained or unexplained? Then in that case, what the auditor should do? Any inquiries from the borrowers about the interest difference, if any, और एक्शन टेकन बाय द बैंक्स ऑन इट. अच्छा, तुमने देखा होगा कई बार, मेरे साथ तो बहुत बार हुआ है कि समटाइम्स द बैंक अननेसेसरली विल डेबिट सम चार्जेस इन योर अकाउंट. देखो हम लोग इसको ना इग्नोर कर देते हैं कि समटाइम्स 20-30 रुपीज बैंक्स ऐसे ही डेबिट कर देता है, एंड वाइल चेकिंग इन योर ऐप ना यू वोंट फाइंड द एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑल्सो until unless you don't get the bank statement. तो 20-30 रुपीज हम बॉदर नहीं करते, बट लुक एट द साइज when it turns out of 1 crore बैंक अकाउंट्स. 1 crore बैंक अकाउंट्स में अगर उन्होंने ऐसा डेबिट किया है 20 रुपीज का, तो ऑन द स्पॉट बैंक हैज अर्न्ड व्हाट? 20 crores. So these are the various kind of petty expenditures which the auditor would like to inquire with the borrowers. कि did you have any kind of unexplained debits and credits in your account or not? So that brings the end to your extra topics relating to what? 9. Finally, clear? Okay, sir? चलो, that's it for today. Monday को क्या start करना है? 2 ऑप्शन दे रहा हूं. Let me know. Should we start with the audit in automated environment or risk assessment and internal control? बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर है 315. It will take 2 classes to make you understand risk assessment and internal control. एक ही स्टैंडर्ड को 2. अच्छा, मंडे एग्जाम है ना तुम्हारा, तो एक काम करते हैं, मंडे को ऑडिट इन ऑटोमेटेड एनवायरनमेंट करेंगे. We'll extend it up to Tuesday. and Wednesday we'll be starting the risk assessment and internal controls. Then we'll do 240 audit fraud. Then we'll be left with three topics. Two topics. Audit in different entities and और क्या बचा? Audit in different items of the financial statement. Two major chapters will be left. So that will be all. Maybe 12th or 13th we should be in a position to wind up our portion. Right? Chalo, thank you so much everyone. See you guys on Monday. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye. Take care everyone. Bye bye.
Audit of RBI, sir.
Huh?
RBI. RBI also will have audit, sir.